Hello viewers and welcome to class once again. Today we'll be looking at a topic that says and inverse proportion. And this topic is very useful to children in year 5 and year 6. When I mean basic 5 and basic 6. All right, now let's shoot. What is direct proportion? This is a mathematical relationship between two variables where an increase or decrease in one variable results in a corresponding increase or decrease in the other variable. That is, as one variable is increasing, the other variable is increasing, and as one is decreasing, the other variable is decreasing. That is what it means by direct proportional. This is proportional to this, and this is also proportional to that. Now let's look at the example. Before we look at the example, children need to know how to identify questions that are direct proportion and questions that are inverse proportion. And we are going to be looking at some examples in which children can be able to identify direct proportion questions and inverse proportion questions. Now, in this first example, if 2 dozens of eggs cost 300 naira, how much will 5 eggs cost? Now, this is a relationship between quantity and the price. 2 dozens of egg is the quantity, and then the cost is the price. It means that as the quantity is increasing, the price is also increasing. As the quantity is reducing, the price is also reducing. Now let's see how we can solve this. In this direction, direct proportion question, we are going to, and now let's see how we can solve this example. If 2 dozens of egg cost 300 naira, how much will 5 eggs cost? 2 dozens of egg, 1 dozen will give me 12, while 2 will give me 24 eggs. Now one egg will give me 300 naira divided by 24. This is 150 divided by 12, 75 divided by 6, and then 1 egg will cost 12 naira 50 kobo for 1 egg. If 1 egg is costing 12 naira 50 kobo, 5 eggs, because the question says how much will 5 eggs cost? 5 egg will cost 12 naira 50 kobo multiplied by 5. 5 multiplied by 0, 0. 5 multiplied by 0, 0. 5 multiplied by 5, 25. Then put your point. 5 multiplied by 5 is 10, plus 2, 12. Then 5 multiplied by 5 is 1, plus 1 is 6. So 5 eggs will cost 62 naira 50 kobo. Don't forget to put your unit, which is in naira. Now, let's go back to the question. If 2 dozens of egg cost 300 naira, how much will 5 egg? Now, as it has reduced to 5, the price has reduced to 62 naira 50 kobo. That is what it means by direct. But when it increases to 300, the quantity increases to 24. That is what it means by direct proportion. Now, if you don't want to use this method, we can use the other method, which is equivalent fraction. If you've not watched my video on equivalent fraction, log on to my YouTube channel, Evergreen Tutors Ife on YouTube, to watch the full video on equivalent fraction. All right, now let's look at the method 2. In method 2, 24 eggs, which is 2 dozens, equals 300 naira. 5 eggs equals y, because we want to know how much 5 eggs will cost. Cross multiply. It's going to be 24y equals 300 multiplied by 5. 24y equals 1,500. Y will give me 1,500 divided by 24. All right, this will give me 750 divided by 12, right? Then, which will give me, when you divide 750 divided by 12, it's going to give you 62 naira 50 kobo. So you can decide to use the first method by knowing how much one egg costs, then multiplying it by what you're looking for. Then, or you use this method 2 on equivalent fraction. All right, example 2 on direct proportion. If 20 kg of sugar costs 600 naira, what will be the cost of 12 kg? If 20 kg of sugar costs 600 naira, what will be the cost of 12 kg? Now, let's look at the method 1. We're going to look at how much 1 kg will cost, because 20 kg costs this. So how much will 1 kg of sugar cost? All right, 1 kg will give, all right, 1 kg will be 600 naira divided by 20. Divided by 20. Okay, 600 divided by 20, which will give me 30 naira. This is how much 1 kg of sugar for 1 kg. 1 kg will cost 30 naira. All right, then what will be the cost of 12 kg? If 1 kg is costing 30 naira, then 12 kg will be 30 multiplied by 12. This multiplied is 0, this is 6, this will give 0, and this will give 3. And then you have 360 naira. All right, 12 kg will give 360 naira. Method 2. Method 2. Before we go to the method 2, I want us to understand the increase in the proportional parts of this question. Remember, I said that in direct proportion, the increase in one variable will lead to a corresponding increase in the other variable, and the decrease in one variable will lead to a corresponding decrease in the other variable. Now let's look at method 2. In method 2, we are solving with the use of equivalent fraction. 20 kg costs 600 naira. What will be the cost of 12 kg? 12 kg x cross multiply. Okay, cross multiply. It will be 20 kg. 20 kg multiplied by x equals 600 multiplied by 12. This will give me 20x, right? Now, all right, this will give 600 multiplied by 12 will give me 7,200 naira. All right, then it will be x will give me 7,200 divided by 20. 0 cancel 0. X will give me, now let's using our short method division, let's divide. 2 divide 7 will give me 3 remainder 1. 2 divide 12 will give me 6. Bring down your 0. So my x will give me 360 naira as it is with the first method. I hope you are able to understand this part. Now let's go to example 3. In example 3, if 10 meters of material costs 1,500 naira, if 10 meters of material costs 1,500 naira, this is a direct proportion question. How much will 2 meter cost? How much will 2 meter? When there's an increase in the quantity of the meter, the price increases. Now let's see if the price will reduce now that the quantity has reduced from 10 meters to 2 meters. All right, so I'm going to only just use one method for this, which is going to be 10 meter equals 1,500 naira, right? How much with 2 meter? I don't know. Why? Cross multiply. 10 multiplied by y equals 1,500 multiplied by 2. 10y will give me 1,500 multiplied by 2 will give 3,000. Okay, y will give 3,000 divided by 10. 0 cancel 0. Then y will give what? 300 naira. It means that 2 meters will cost 300 naira. Now, this is all for direct proportion. This is all for direct proportion. I hope you are able to understand this. The next part to be looking at is inverse proportion. And I'm going to be telling you what inverse proportion is all about and how you can identify question on inverse proportion. One of the simplest way you can identify question on direct proportion is when the question is talking about buying and selling measurements. Then you can easily identify that, okay, this is direct proportion question. And also try to look at the question and see the relationship between the two variables. You have to check the relationship between the two variables. All right, welcome to class once again. We're looking at a topic that says inverse proportion. If you've not watched my video on direct proportion, you can go to YouTube, Instagram or Telegram, Evergreen Tutors, to watch the video on direct proportion. Now, inverse proportion is a mathematical relationship between two variables in which an increase in one variable leads to a proportional decrease in the other variable. Now, when I was explaining direct proportion, I said in direct proportion, the increase in one leads to an increase in the other, and a decrease in one variable leads to a decrease in the other. But in inverse proportion, it is not like that. In inverse proportion, the increase in one will lead to a decrease in the other variable. Now, let's take, for example, I asked 5 men or 5 boys to sweep a room for me. The time it will take them to sweep the room will be less because why? They are much, they are 5. So it will take less time to complete the task. But if I say one boy should come and sweep the room for me, that boy will take more time to sweep the room compared to the less time 5 boys will take. That is what it means by inverse proportion. Now let's look at the question on the board. 3 men can do a piece of work in 10 days. How many days will it take 12 men to complete the work if they are working at the same rate? Now this question is similar to what I just explained. 3 men can do a piece of work in 10 days. All right, the number of men to do the work are few, so it will take them 10 days to complete the task. It means if the men increases to 12, it will take them what? Less time to complete the task. Now let's see how we can solve this. 3 men will give me 10 days. 10 days. 12 men. Why? I don't know. But remember, this is not a direct proportion. This is not a direct proportion, so I won't solve it the way I solve direct proportion. So it's going to be 3 men multiplied by 10 divided by 12, which will give me 3 times 10 is what? 30 divided by 12. All right, now let's see how we can solve this. 30 How many times will it go to give me 2? This time it is 24. Alright, this will give 6. Add a 0. This is 5. And then 60. So it's going to be what? It's going to take 2.5 days. 2.5 days to complete the task. 2.5 days to complete. Now this is one example of an inverse proportion. We're going to look at more examples on inverse proportion. So when you see question on inverse proportion, you will understand it. Example 2 on inverse proportion. If it takes 2 men 14 days to dig a well, how many days will it take 7 men working at the same rate? Before I solve this, I want children to be able to see a question and then tell that this question is a direct proportion, why this is an inverse proportion. How do they do that? By looking at the question and then analyzing it. In this question now, 2 men can do or can dig a well in 14 days. That is, you have 2 manpower. It takes them what? 14 days. That is, the fewer the men, the higher number of days it will take. But now let's see, when the men now increases to 7, the days it will take them to complete the work will be what? Will reduce. That is what they call inverse proportional. Let's solve this. 2 men will give me 14 days. Since we are doing inverse proportion, 7 men, y. I don't know how long it will take. So to get the y is going to be 2 multiplied by 14 divided by 7. 2 multiplied by 14 will give me 28 divided by 7 will give me what? 4. Will give me 4 days. How many days will take 7 men working at the same rate? It's going to give me 4 days. Now this is what an inverse proportion question. Now let's go to the next one. A job takes 24 men 30 days to complete. A job takes 24 men 30 days to complete. How many men are needed to complete the job in 16 days? 30 reduces to 16. Once 30 is reducing to 16, what will happen to the men? All right, now let's shoot. A job takes 24 men 30 days to complete it. How many men are needed to, now the men, I don't know, in 16 days? The same rule we apply. It's going to be 24 men multiplied by 30 days divided by what? 16. All right? All right, 24 multiplied by 30 will give me 720 divided by 16. Divided by 16. Now let's see how we can solve this. Let's divide. Let's get this to the lowest term, which will give me 3. Let's see. So give me 360 divided by 8. Okay. 8 in this will give me 45. How do I know? 8 in 36 will give me 4. Remainder 4. 8 in 40 will give me 5. So it will take them what? It will take, what are we looking for? How many men? 45 men. It will take 45 men, 16 days to complete. All right, now I want us to look at the examples on direct and then inverse proportion. If you've not watched my video on direct proportion, I want you to look at the video on direct proportion either on YouTube, Instagram, or Telegram, and then also on inverse proportion. Then you can ask your question. Thank you and see you next time.